I'm Dr. Lara, and welcome to another week of intuitive channeled messages. So sit back, relax, and see if there's anything that resonates for you today. Okay. So what I'm hearing is they're showing me a glass of wine, and what I was hearing was whining. So because it feels like with the planets that are coming into alignment and the Schumann resonance and all of this like increased light, like unprecedented light that's coming into the planet right now and into us, there are things that maybe we haven't been able to get to or haven't been able to deal with emotionally, or we think that we have dealt with things emotionally and it's here again. And people are like, oh, I'm so tired of this, and rightfully so. It's been, quite a tumultuous ride with our emotions and dealing with past traumas and letting go of things. And, they're not saying don't whine, but they're just kind of laughing because if you knew what was on the other side of what it is we're going through, you would be like, oh, well, that was no big deal. Okay. So we want to honor our emotions. We want to feel them. But the message is we don't have to stay in it. So that's what seems to be happening with a lot of us because we have not been taught how to deal with our emotions. We have been taught that the emotions or being in the emotional state is not conducive to living our lives in a good way because we make rash decisions when we're emotional and we should stay in the logical brain. So we've been forced to almost push that away and not honor our emotions. And then we have also been programmed very subtly to not want to feel those painful emotions, thinking that they're bad. So what do? We push them down, we eat them, we binge watch them, we stay busy, right? And so what they're telling us, and they're like this. They're funny today. So it's like this. They're like, you cannot do that anymore. We cannot deny ourselves our emotions and our emotional body because where we're headed, that is how we are going to be in touch with our intuition. That is how we are going to be able to discern what is true for us and what's not. Because the reason why they wanted us in this mind, our mind, is because that's easily programmable. And the mind can talk us in and out of anything. And that's why a lot of people, they just, whatever they see on TV or whatever they hear, they automatically are like, yeah, okay, I believe that. I'm going to follow that. Okay. But when you are in touch with your emotions, you can feel that in your body. So if you're watching something and there's like this twinge in your body or like this wrenching in your gut or like just this knowing, it's like this isn't right. That is your intuition, and we get into our intuition, we unlock our intuition, and we strengthen our intuition by being in touch with our emotional bodies. So that is what's happening. And, it feels like a lot of people that have not been emotional before, they're really emotional and they just don't know what to do with it. So they're just saying, do your best to just, I'm feeling anxious. Okay. Usually when you feel anxious and you bring yourself to your body, you can tap right here and that will move that energy out because emotions are energy. Okay, or if I'm feeling sad, if you feel like crying, just cry and let that emotion out with the intention of letting that emotion out. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to stay in this emotion for days and weeks like we used to. Years ago, it was really hard for this emotion to move through. But now, since we are remembering who we are remembering that emotions are just energy and we just feel it and we acknowledge it. Maybe we ask what thought is causing that emotion and we get in touch with that perception. and see if it serves us anymore and set the intention to let it go. Now, it's not always that easy, like you just let it go or you just say you want to let it go and then it lets go, okay? But setting the intention puts that in motion so that you can come across someone in a conversation that can help you release that. You can read a book that maybe will give you some kind of exercise to let that go. Okay, and so this is what they're telling me too. With the conversation, so this is what's happening right now with a lot of people, and they probably don't even realize it. Being a light worker, being here on this planet, activating our DNA codes, activating, our knowing and who we are, remembering our divine essence, there are a lot of people that are walking around on this planet that have these transmuting, healing abilities, and they may not even know it. And what they're showing me is that you can have a conversation with somebody that you know, or maybe a complete stranger, and their energy can help you transmute that emotion, can help you instantly transmute those issues that you have. Like, that's how quick things are happening now. And and this coming in so fast. So many people are here on this planet and they don't know why they're here. They don't know what their purpose is. This could be part of why you're here, is you may be holding that energy. So when you're talking to somebody, you are helping them transmute your energy. Okay, yeah. And this is like the light that they are showing in all of us. The more that we shine our light, allow ourselves to be authentic, that light is transmuting the darkness that is around us. So that's really, really exciting. And they're saying, it's like going through this emotional turmoil, that's in quotes because it's turmoil because it's been buried in there for so long. Just like what's happening on the planet right now, it's been buried for so long. So this turmoil is coming up. But just breathe through it, allow it. Don't push it away, because what we resist, it persists, and it's going to get bigger and bigger until you deal with it. And what they're showing me is like people climbing up this hill with this backpack on, and it's horrible and it's treacherous and it's dark and it's struggle, and people are fighting it. And then they're showing me like this doorway. Like, once you open up that doorway, once you get past all of that stuff that you've been fighting, all that stuff you've been struggling with, you step into like this realm of like like peace. Like, oh, it's not so scary. A lot of people are holding on to their traumas. A lot of people are holding on to their emotional state that's in turmoil because they're afraid of the unknown. This is comfortable, and it may sound kind of odd. Like, why would people hold on to their pain? Why would people hold on to their trauma? Because if you've been in that energy for so long and that's all you know, that's what's comfortable, and that actually is safe. That's what your ego tells you. It's safe here. We know what to expect. But when we start to feel better and we move into a different place, that's a little scary because it's different and it's unknown. So sometimes that can be scarier than being in this turmoil. But when you're sitting in this pain, and when that pain gets so bad that it's going to be bigger than your fear of moving forward, that's when you're going to be making the shift. Okay, that's if you're fighting it. But if you are just like, you know what, I'm done. Please help me move forward. Please help me let this go. And when you say please, you're asking your inner self. Okay, you're talking to your inner self because you have all the answers. That is your intuition. So basically, you're just telling yourself, okay, let's do this. Okay, telling your subconscious mind before you go to bed, help me work through this. Find a way to help me let this go, whatever it is. But tell your subconscious mind before you go to bed to give it a job. And then it can help work things through. Okay, now they're showing me dreams. So your dream state, may be becoming more vivid. The messages are getting more pronounced. So start looking at your dreams, start listening to your dreams. Okay. And even if you don't know what it means, start writing it down. Write down the symbols that you get, and maybe you ask on the piece of paper, higher self, what are you trying to tell me through this dream? And start asking these questions within yourself, because we're moving into a time, well, we've been in it, but we're moving more into a time where we are letting go of that outer authority telling us what to do, how to be, what to think, what to eat, where to go. Okay. And we need to turn that in and become our own inner authority. Okay. Because they're showing me a school. We've been programmed from a very young age. Listen to your elders. Mother knows best. The government's here for you to take care of you. The teacher knows more, and we've been taught not to question. We've been taught to just take the information and believe it and trust. Okay. So what's happening is that perception of being able to trust authority, that's being broken by all of the information that's coming through. And a lot of us feel like we're 5 years old again. It's like, but you were supposed to be here to take care of me. I trusted you. And it feels like the rug has been pulled out from underneath us. And that is part of the awakening process. Okay. And they're telling me to have patience. There's a lot of people that are through this turmoil, through like the information that's coming out, they're waking up. And then there's people that have been awake for a few months that are upset with the people that are still asleep. And it's just, it's a cycle. It's not a cycle, but it's part of the process of awakening to our divine connection and realizing our own magnificence. And that is when we wake up and we see things so differently, and it seems like nobody else sees the way things that you do, and it seems like everybody else is asleep, and they're assuring you that people are waking up in the millions. Okay. And it just seems that way because you've been in your world surrounded by people at that same frequency. And then all of a sudden your frequency changes and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't right. So as your frequency moves into a different level, not better, not higher, just a different level, you're going to be connecting with people that believe and see things the way that you do. And it is happening at a rapid pace right now because we are really moving into the new earth. We're actually creating it right now. And they're showing me like things are separating even more. So we're able to be on this planet with other people that don't see the same things we do and live side by side with them, but have two completely different realities until we're going to get to a space where that frequency, we're not even in that frequency anymore. And we're moving into a whole different way of being. Okay, let me see if there's anything else here. Okay. Oh, okay. So they're showing me a tree. So they're showing me the family tree. So, there's so much information. So what they're saying is the ancient ancestors, our ancestors, those of us that have come into transmute that energy. We have contracts with our ancestors. Like those contracts are being fulfilled. Like they're coming to a completion. So if you're one of those people and you know who you are, where you have been transmuting the energy from your ancestors, your DNA lineage, you've been transmuting that, like that is coming to a close because as we bring in more light into our bodies, like there's no past, present, or future. So as we bring this light and this healing into our bodies, that goes out to our ancestors, and it is healing them as well. So if you've been feeling heavy with that, if you've been feeling a struggle with that, it feels like that's going to start ending for you. And they're going like this, like, thank you, job well done. Okay, and they're also showing me like the family constellation. There has been a lot of rifts in families. And one thing they want to explain about the family constellation, which is another programming actually of how a family structure should look. There should be a mother and a father and kids, and these kids should get along, and we should be happy. And they're showing me like a Norman Rockwell painting. If you don't know what that is, look it up, and you'll see that these people are happy with each other and everything is wonderful. And we have been given that picture of what a perfect family should be like, but it's impossible to attain, because on a soul level, our families, we choose our mothers, we choose our fathers, we choose our siblings, we choose the lessons that we want to learn, we choose our soul growth. And as we do our soul's growth, it's not always pleasant. It's usually painful experiences, and the people that play those games with us, that are in that realm of helping us grow, are usually our family. And it could come across as an alcoholic father, or a domineering mother, or just like a mean sister, or a cruel brother. And these people are playing their part to help you grow. So if you can look at a family constellation in that way, what is it they're here to teach me? And then your soul grows. And when your soul grows and you learn that lesson, that other person has the choice to grow with you and learn their lesson as well. And eventually, that family constellation, or that family dynamic, when there's healing involved, that's what you can experience with your family. And all families look different. Not all families have a mother and father. Some families have two fathers. Some families have two mothers. Some families have one parent, and sometimes the siblings get along and sometimes they don't. And it's okay. It's about learning how to have compassion for the other person, how to stand in your own truth and keep your boundaries, but also allowing that other person to have their truth and have their boundaries. Okay? And they're showing me just like a bunch of little kids, actually the little kids are getting along, but it's the adults that are fighting. So it's like, come back to when you were a little kid, when all of this stuff didn't matter. When it didn't matter what other people thought of you. It didn't matter what other people thought, period. If they thought different than you, then you didn't jive with them. Then you went and played with somebody else. You didn't try to convince someone to play with you, right? So it's like, you don't have to convince someone to think the same way you do. And if you are in that space about trying to get someone to think the same way you do, it's probably because you are being challenged in your own belief, and you're trying to convince someone else because you're trying to convince yourself of the way that you think. So if you know how you feel, if you are solid in your core and you follow your intuition, you know what your truth is, it's not going to matter what other people think. Okay? And you don't have to worry about enough people waking up in order for us to ascend to the new earth. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. It doesn't matter what other people do. You create your reality on your new earth with your thoughts, your beliefs, your perceptions, with letting go of what it is you no longer need. And that is where we are headed. Okay. And they're just showing me like this. There's peace. You can find peace in the storm. You can be the eye in the center of the storm. It's up to you. where you put your attention, where you put your focus, how much you're holding on to, how much you're judging yourself and others. That's all a deterrent of how you feel about yourself and your inner peace. We are on our way to something amazing, and it's closer than you think. It's like, it's right here. It's right here. When you stop looking outside for things to change, when you stop looking for people to get it, when you stop looking for justice, when you stop looking for change on the outside world, whether it's the environment or food or chemicals, when you stop looking for that and you are strong in your being, that starts to show up in your life. That's how it works. There's no more outer authority. You are your inner authority. So be quiet, be still, go for a nature walk, be out in nature, sing, hum, do art, do whatever it is to listen to that voice. And the stronger that voice gets, the more you trust that voice, the more peace you are going to feel. Okay, so those were the messages. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, because it really helps the algorithms and it helps more people see this if you think this was a good video for somebody to hear. So anyway, have a wonderful week and I will see you soon. Many blessings.